Joining us now in our newsroom, we have Dr. Bashar Shukair. He is the White House vaccine coordinator. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mary.
So we're talking about the Delta variant. So can you tell us about the Delta variant and how it's different from other strains that we've been hearing about this past year?
What we started seeing is that the Delta variant is now being detected across the globe. Actually, more than 60 countries have detected that variant, including here in the United States as well. And what we're learning about the Delta variant is that it appears to be more transmissible, and it also seems to be associated with more severe disease, including hospitalizations. Now, the good news and what we've learned from the UK data is that a two-dose mRNA vaccines seem to be very effective for protection against the variant. So this is, if you want, Mary, one more reason why it becomes really critical for people to get vaccinated, especially as we're seeing more and more of the Delta variant in the United States.
So we're seeing, Dr. Shukair, it's the Pfizer vaccine and the mRNA, but not the adenovirus vaccines. Do we know why there would be a difference?
Well, we know that the J&J vaccines are fairly effective against variants. Now, in the UK and here in the United States, most people have gotten the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. So that's where we have the data on. We don't have reasons to believe that the J&J won't be effective against the Delta variant. It's just we need a little bit more time to get the data and understand the data. The fact remains, though, that the best way to protect yourself, your family, your community is to get vaccinated. One other thing, Mary, I'd like to add is that if you have gotten one dose of the vaccine and you've been thinking about getting the second dose, now is the absolutely right time to get your second dose, because what we've learned from the UK data is that a two-dose vaccine, whether it's the Pfizer or the AstraZeneca, they provide you with more than 88% effectiveness against symptomatic disease. A one dose only provides 33% effectiveness. So it's really important that if you've started the series, gotten only one dose, now is the time to make sure you get your second dose.
Right. I mean, I think a lot of people out there are skipping the second dose for whatever reason. But again, a great point. We need people to get the full dosage, whether it's those two doses of the vaccination or that one J&J vaccine. So we know this is spreading across across the world and countries. How rapidly is it spreading across the U.S.?
Well, if you look at our data from late May, about 2.7% of the samples that we've tested were the Delta variant. In early June, that went up to 9.3%. So in a matter of just a couple of weeks, from 2.7 to 9.3%, this is significant. And we're seeing in some states that percentage is actually 22, 23, 25%. So we really need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect ourselves, protect our communities. When we look at the UK, that percentage there now, the Delta variant is the majority of the cases in the UK, and we want to do everything we can to protect against that here in the United States. And the answer, we know the answer, it's the safe and effective vaccines that we have.
Right. And I mean, Dr. Shukair, we know this is spreading and we know it's spreading rapidly. I want to circle back. I want to talk about signs and symptoms. I understand that they're different from the coronavirus that we've been hearing about this past year.
Well, we're seeing a variety of symptoms that are popping up, your traditional symptoms, but we're also seeing more GI symptoms, hearing related symptoms, and other symptoms. The fact remains, though, that we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very vigilant. If you're unvaccinated, you are still at risk, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your medical conditions. You are still at risk of getting the virus, getting hospitalized. And unfortunately, we're still seeing deaths every single day in this country. And even for younger adults, what we're learning from the UK is that the Delta variant is peaking in people ages 12 to 20. So that's another reason why we want to focus on adolescents, get adolescents vaccinated. Now is the time with the Pfizer vaccine approved for 12 to 15 years old. And we'd want to do everything we can to remove all barriers from people who want to get vaccinated, but just haven't gotten to it yet.
And, you know, given what we know about this virus, there's no reason for someone to pass from this, given that we have all this data and all this protection that we know that we have available. So from what I understand, I want to go back to, of course, the importance of vaccines. Viruses need a host to mutate. And I'm thinking that if a person is unvaccinated, they become that host, and that makes the virus get stronger. Am I correct there? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What we'd want to do is we'd want to create less and less opportunities for the virus to flourish, and opportunities for that virus to mutate. And the best way we can do that is by creating more and more immunity in our communities. And that means getting more and more people vaccinated. In this country, we've done an amazing job. Nearly 175 million people in this country have gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. More than 145 million people are fully vaccinated. So we know we've made such a great progress, and yet we still know that there are still tens of millions of people who want to get vaccinated, who need to get vaccinated, and we need to remove all the stops there to make it as easy for them to get vaccinated. That's why, Mary, you'll see pharmacies are offering extended hours. We have pop-up clinics, mobile clinics at universities and colleges, mayors across the country standing up and saying, we're gonna do phone calls, canvassing, door knocking to make it as easy as possible for people to get vaccinated.
And that is so wonderful that this is happening, because I mean, we have more supply than we have demand right now. And I mean, Indiana here, we're less than 40% of our state is vaccinated. And what more can we do to persuade, encourage people besides saying, this is the data, help yourself, help your family, help your friends. What else can we do and to get to the other side of this?
I think there's still a lot of people who have questions, and a lot of these questions are very legitimate questions. And we'd want to make sure we're giving people the opportunity to have answers to those questions, to have the facts, so that they can make an informed decision. You know, getting vaccinated is such a personal decision. And when you get to make that decision, you'd want to feel comfortable that you've made this decision based on facts, based on answers to questions you have. That's why it becomes really important for people to talk to their doctors. We've been encouraging doctors across the country to pick up the phone, talk to their patients who haven't been vaccinated, ask their patients when they're coming in for their diabetes check or their blood pressure check about getting vaccinated. And what we learn from people who still have questions, the single most trusted person when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine is their doctor. So we want to make sure that we're encouraging those conversations. And I have no doubt that when people get the answers, when people get the facts, and they want to make that informed decision, they'll be leaning more towards getting vaccinated. And that's exactly what we want.
Dr. Shukar, that is so important to say, and for people to be to get the facts from someone who is their primary care doctor. Give their doctor a call, get the information, and then you're right, make a decision based on the information that you have, because it is a choice. And so, I mean, anything else that you want to add?
No, I mean, I feel like we're on the sprint and we want to get as many people protected as possible. The best path to get us past this pandemic is by getting vaccinated. So if you haven't been vaccinated yet, please make the choice to do that, make that decision. And if you have been vaccinated, you've gotten only your one dose, please make sure you get your second dose for full protection. And also take a moment, if you're fully vaccinated or you're partially vaccinated, to talk to your friends, to your neighbors, to your relatives about getting vaccinated. Share your experience with them. People really trust people they know. And I do believe everyone has the opportunity to participate in this effort. And it starts by having conversations with people they know.
Oh, that's so interesting, right? Your social circle has an influence on decision making, and people that you
Absolutely.
trust, right? And they care about you, so they wouldn't give you stray you in the wrong direction. So I mean, this was such a great, so grateful to have you on here, Dr. Shukar, and thank you for all that you do for the country.
Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate you.